Larry Elder.
My father was a janitor. He worked 2 full-time jobs and went to school at night to get his GED. I never saw anybody work so hard.
From the tough streets of L.A., hard work and 2 caring parents helped Larry make it to the Ivy League.
My dad always said, don't complain about your problems. Ask what you can do about them.
He became a lawyer, a best-selling author, and a radio host.
Grow up and assume responsibilities. Taking control of your life. That's what this show is all about. Thank you. All right. 1958, Richard Loving and Mildred Jeter were married in Washington, D.C. Richard was white, Mildred was black. After the wedding, the couple returned to their home state of Virginia, where they were promptly arrested and spent time in jail. You see, in Virginia, interracial marriages were illegal. And leaving the state with the intention to marry outside your race and then return, well, that was a crime. What's worse, children born of mixed marriages were considered illegitimate in the eyes of the state and were therefore without protections and privileges afforded to children of the, quote, lawfully wedded, end of quote. Thankfully, times have changed, but some people have not changed. And today you're going to meet people who feel that blacks are too accepting of interracial relationships. That is, blacks are too accepting of interracial relationships. They feel blacks who marry outside their race, well, they've abandoned the race and are committing cultural genocide. This is the topic of our discussion today. Here are some thoughts from today's guests.
I feel that interracial relationships destroy the black race. When I see a black male with a white woman, I sort of feel like he's wasting his whole life.
I'm half black and half white. I was raised by my mother, who is white, and I consider myself black. When somebody says that a biracial child is unnatural, it's just ignorance. There's no truth to that.
When I see an interracial couple, I always give them the evil eye look. And I think it's disgusting.
I'm neither white nor black. I'm half black, half white. But I don't consider myself either or. I'm just me. I'm just Sheree.
My son was born when I was 20. He's 5 years old. He's half black and half white. And my father doesn't have nothing to do with an interracial relationship, so he has a problem with that.
Well, I think interracial relationship could cause a problem within the 2 families. For myself, I don't agree with it.
People who believe that biracial children is not natural, they need to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, things have changed.
Our first guests are Alicia and Richard. Now, Alicia is a viewer from Seattle, Washington. And Richard says he's a contractor in his hometown of Bittendorf, Iowa. And while Richard and Alicia barely know each other, they do share a common belief that black people who date and marry outside of their race are contributing to the demise of the black culture. Let me start with you, Alicia. What's the problem with interracial dating, interracial couples?
Well, I feel that black men in particular, which I know that white women do date outside their race too, but I feel that black men have a problem when it comes down to embracing black women. They tend to be too quick to embrace white women. And I also feel that...
You got some support over there.
I also feel that white women as a whole, the main reason why they are so attracted to black men is because of a jealous thing. Because, you know, white women have never been able to see black women have anything. Whatever black women have, the white woman wants it. And I feel that a lot of these black men that do get involved in interracial relationships, they watch too much television when they were young. Because, you know, television has always portrayed white women as being the ideal woman. They're always slim. They're always wealthy. But then black women in the past have been, on television, they've been portrayed as being like, you know, the Aunt Your Mama type of figure. They have a house full of kids. And I realize things have changed a little bit today as far as the television industry, but the damage has already been done.
Well, actually, Alicia, when you watch television, a black person is more likely to be portrayed as a doctor, a lawyer, and dentist than is the case in real life. And a black person is less likely to be portrayed as a criminal than in real life.
And I also,
so you're just wrong about what you said about television. But first,
well,
Alicia,
let me
ask you though about your nieces. You got two biracial nieces.
Yes, I do.
Right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And how do you feel about them?
Well, I love my nieces. I have one that's mixed with Mexican and one that's mixed with white. And I have a little bit of trouble with the one that's mixed with white because Mexican...
But the one Mexican, that's okay.
Because that is a person of color. The reason why I'm opposed to people being mixed with white, that's because white people have a different bloodline than black people. White people have a lot of birth defects that comes from... They have a lot of birth defects. They have a lot of birth defects, believe me, that came from, Europe. That came from Europe, that came from incest, because, white people have committed a lot of incest. And there's just things...
All right, Alicia, you said I've studied white people.
I used to live in a white city.
When blacks cross the line and start wanting to live like white people, they're going to pay a price for it.
And they've already been paying it. Look at Michael Jackson.
So?
Look at Kobe Bryant.
What did Michael Jackson and white people have to do with each other?
What do you mean?
Explain to me.
Michael Jackson,
yeah?
Look at the situation that he's in now because of trying to be white.
Michael Jackson's in the situation he's in because he's trying to be white?
He's trying to be white. And white people now...
No, he's in the situation he's in because the authorities think he's a pedophile. That's why he's in the situation he's in.
That's because...
Nothing to do with being white.
Wait a minute. That's because... That is because a lot of white people are pedophiles.
All right.
So,
all right.
Michael Jackson, because of him trying to imitate white people, black people that try to imitate white people.
So white people, a lot of white people are pedophiles. And so Michael Jackson wanted to identify with white people, so he too became a pedophile.
Exactly.
Right. Richard.
Yeah.
We haven't forgotten about you.
I'm just listening.
Richard, your brother married outside the race, correct?
Yes, he did.
And your relationship with your brother is?
It's been kind of bad ever since that time. They've been married for like 25 years. Mm-hmm. Now, what I wanted to do, in my opinion of this interracial thing, what I wanted to do was show the black women respect. I had asked for some roses to pass out to the black women because black women have been pushed back in the corner for too long. People are now trying to say the AIDS virus is a black woman's disease. Black women contract AIDS. Hold on a minute.
AIDS came from white people?
Well, the
manufactured white
Can I finish what I was saying? AIDS is a disease that's been out there for a while. When it first come out, they said it was homosexual white men. Then they say it's, black women. And my view on this interracial stuff is like this. You see, white women go out of their way to attract a black man. They got a good example. It's a commercial. It's a commercial where this white woman, she's a news reporter, a sports reporter. She comes into a locker, and there's nobody there but this big black man, Dingo. That's what the guy, this football player is portrayed as. She would do anything to get...
Yeah, you're talking about the Monday Night Football skit with Terrell Owens and Nicolette
she comes out there with nothing on but a towel. Then she drops it. She says, I'm going to get what I want out of you, And what she wants is to be overcome.
Richard, why do you care? What does it make to you?
I don't care about that woman, but I do care about the black woman, okay? I see interracial
Richard, your son married a white woman.
I don't give a damn. That's his opinion. I mean, that's what he wanted to do.
And your relationship with your son as a result is what?
It's been worse than it ever been.
Same as with your brother?
Basically. I mean, I think it's degrading my people. And when they come out with the interracial kids, they don't know which side to go to.
What about your grandson?
What about him?
How do you feel about it?
I've seen him once and not too particular about him. I mean...
Because he's biracial?
Yeah, because he's biracial. It's not what I want. I cannot see myself sitting down Thanksgiving dinner with those infiltrators. They're trying to infiltrate the black race. That's exactly where I feel about it.
Infiltrate?
They infiltrate. I think two things that white women bring into the black community is drugs and diseases. And that's what I feel about.
Hold on. Two things white people bring in the black community is white women are drugs and diseases.
Yeah, and another thing, you can't help white people out.
Richard, why is it? You're talking about AIDS. Wait a minute, Richard. You were talking about AIDS earlier.
Yeah.
The category where AIDS is growing rapidly is
It's
in the black
community. But what
now,
I'm saying...
how are white women doing that?
Okay, how are white women doing that?
How are white women causing that?
The disease, we feel like, came from the white people. They say it's some kind of experiment some racist white people made. I was in the town...
That's not the only thing, though.
Richard, that's absurd.
It's absurd.
There's no evidence of that at all.
Well, you know, they're not gonna say that they brought it in there, but that's what they do. They do have a lot of
Richard,
disease.
a lot of white people have AIDS.
Yeah, a lot of white people have AIDS. 40 million people in the world have AIDS. I took a stand against AIDS while I ran for United States Senator. I said something, you know...
You ran for Senator?
Yes, I did. In the state of Iowa. And 99% of the population in Iowa is white people.
Richard, do you realize that you are now estranged from your brother and from your son because of your attitude? Does that bother you?
Does it bother me?
Yeah.
No, it don't. No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Wow.
Because we don't get along, that's the issue. That's part of the issue.
You also said you can't stand Halle Berry?
I said well, I saw her on a commercial, yes, I said it. I mean, I think that was the question that was brought.
She's too white?
She looks too white to me. I said, when I see her on the commercial, I want to throw up.
Richard, you're pretty light-skinned yourself.
I know where my complexion's at. I looked in the mirror before I come out.
Look, I'm not trying to insult you, Richard. I'm not trying to insult you, Richard. I'm just saying that you don't appear to be, quote, completely black, close quote, yourself.
Well, from what I was
told,
wrong? Okay, in slavery times, the white men disrespected black women by raping her all the time. And they probably got some of that in my
Richard,
blood.
this is not slavery anymore. It's 2004.
I know what the hell this is.
What is wrong with you people?
I know what the hell this is. You asked me, no, you hold on. You asked me about the lineage of the white blood in my veins, okay? I'm telling you, I didn't appreciate it, but I cannot do anything. I was not back there when it happened. I'm the great-grandson of a slave,
okay.
And my people were raped by the white vicious animals.
So, Richard, you had nothing to do with your racial complexion,
no,
right?
I didn't.
And
but a person has a choice.
Neither does your grandson.
Hey, but his daddy had a choice.
Grandson.
His daddy had a choice. I introduced him to some black women that had something going on. They were in college, and they were doing something. Then he go out there in the trash pile and come up with something like that. And bring it on. Bring it on. Okay?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I think that in a lot of ways, I feel that white women...
They're treacherous.
One minute you hear that blacks, that they're thugs, they're thieves. So they kind of like contradict themselves. Because if black men...
black man in a moment.
You know, if black men are all this, then why is it that so many white women want a black man? And in the first place, with a high percentage of black men that has been killed by the police,
Lisa, have you ever thought about leaving? Have you ever thought about leaving America? Have you ever thought about leaving America, moving to Africa? Would you be more happy?
But you know what? Let me say something about that. Let me say something about that, brother. You know, that's what they say. Why don't you leave America and go to Africa? My great-grandfather is from Africa. I ain't going no damn where that I haven't been before. I like to go to Africa because that's where my blood is at.
I'll pass the hat and we'll
You give me the damn money.
I'll pass
you
the hat.
give me the damn money. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Sit down, Richard.
Bring it on. I am not ashamed to be black. I'm a black man,
Richard,
okay? I'm not ashamed to be from Africa. I'm not from Africa. I'm from Iowa. Hello, Quad City. But my people are from Africa. I am not ashamed. Other black people should not be ashamed. Richard, where their people are from.
Richard.
You don't talk about
the only thing that you ought to be ashamed about is
I'm not ashamed of nothing.
Is right now that you're acting like a clown.
I'm not acting like a clown.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go.
I'm responding to your people here.
We're back, and today's guests are people who feel that blacks are too accepting of interracial relationships. Richard's son, Patrick, is here. Patrick and Richard don't speak very often, and obviously they have a very strained relationship. Richard, when's the last time you spoke with your son?
All right, my mama's funeral. That was July 1st this year.
No conversation since then?
No, before that was like 2 years when I stood up in church and said I didn't like him marrying that white girl.
And before that, your relationship with your son was what?
Shaky all the time.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's meet Richard's estranged son, Patrick. Patrick, come on out. Richard, Richard, come over here. Come here, closer.
Yeah,
Closer to her. Closer to her.
Okay. You really got some bogus issues.
Okay, all right. Patrick,
You know
nice to meet you.
You too. How you
Okay,
doing?
all right. Patrick, what was your relationship like with your dad before your interracial marriage?
That wasn't really cool at all. I didn't really know him, you know.
No, we was, his mother divorced me by the time.
Man, I was 8 years old when I met him.
First time you met him when you were 8?
I was 8 years old, you know what I'm saying? My mom was like, yo, your dad's here. He came down to Kansas City where I was raised. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get to see what he looked like, whatever. So he came around, and he don't know me, but he wanted to control me and tell me, do this, do that, and be all up in your face, cussing you out just as ignorant as he's being, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And shut up. So we got into a fight. So we got into a boxing match when I was 14 years old, you know what I'm saying? And after that, I never really dealt with him.
Patrick, what kind of relationship do you wish you'd had with your father?
Probably when I was young, probably a good one, but nowadays, you know what I'm saying, what I never had, I don't miss it, you know what I'm saying?
Patrick, did you invite your father to your wedding?
Nah.
I wouldn't have came if he had invited me.
I wouldn't have cared either, to be honest about it.
I already told him that. You know how I feel about it. But that's you and her.
But you're small-minded.
Hey,
See, this guy here,
that's your decision. You made your own decision. You gotta live with that.
This dude is a bum. He says he will not work for the white people, right?
No, I got white
had a
people
job
working for
like
me.
the last 20 years.
You don't know what the hell I've been doing.
He lives off of women.
You're a damn
He ain't got his own place for nothing.
You don't know.
I got more materialistic stuff than this cat ever had. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
And I'm 25 years old. What, you 50?
This is about.
This dude has
I'm
nothing,
52.
man.
I'm 52.
He's poor.
You don't know what
you
the
get
hell
$100, $200 every 6 months.
You don't know what the hell I do.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, you just like your,
what the hell is that?
You like your mama, okay?
Yeah, you know, you damn right I am.
All right. Tell me about what happened, Patrick, at church.
I'll tell you what happened at church. I was sitting there, and I noticed he's at the church. There was about 30, 40 people there, and I just stood up and I told him.
You had your wife with you?
Yeah, she was there.
At the time, yeah, we're not together.
I don't even think they were married or something. But anyway, I told him like this. I said, I didn't appreciate the fact that he married this white girl. I said, but I guess I will give him my blessings, you know, being in the church.
And he said it's loud. Everybody's looking at
everybody
like,
saw
what?
Everybody heard it because I'm in it.
So in front of the whole church, you said that I disapprove of who my son married. In front of the whole church.
Yes, I did.
And it had nothing to do with me, the event that we were there for, you know what I'm saying? So he just jumps up and says something to me about that. I'm like, okay, well, that had to do anything, you know what I'm saying? You could have kept that to yourself.
Well, I just felt like telling people. I mean, I wasn't trying to.
How did Richard, the church members, react to what you said?
They just looked at me.
I would imagine they probably did.
And my sister, my mother,
they all
and
talked about it. When we got home, they was like, I can't believe Richard got up there and said that ignorant ish. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Mr. Hughes, all right.
It's Richard, dude. What you talking about?
Alicia, do you think it's reasonable for Richard to renounce his relationship with his son Patrick because Patrick has married a white woman? That okay with you?
No, it's not okay with me. So I feel that, you know, this is your son. And,
well, he's just kind of like a stranger to me anyway.
Even given your attitude, Alicia, you think it's pretty pathetic, don't you?
I think that it's kind of like taking it a little bit too far.
A little bit?
If you're going to deny your child. But I also wanted to say something else. What I was trying to say.
Understanding that you have. Understanding is he did what he wanted to. I don't appreciate it. I wouldn't have them in my house.
First of all, dude, you ain't got a house. What are you talking about?
You don't know what I got.
I know you. You
don't know a damn thing about me.
You need to calm your nerves.
You don't know what you don't know damn thing about me.
But check this out. I got a biracial son. He's 5 years old.
Okay, I did tell them that you love your son. I told them that.
Now, no,
I don't want to know him.
Hold on.
There's something else.
Richard, wait a second. Please stop screaming, okay?
There's something else going on with these
Just calm down. Obviously there is. You guys didn't have a good relationship to begin with.
Okay.
And it made it worse after he married a white woman, right?
And
before that, you didn't have a relationship.
He
didn't even meet you till you were 8 years old.
You try to help white folks,
Richard.
You try to help white folks, and it turned against you.
Richard, I know how you feel, okay? We've heard it.
All right.
I want to ask your son a question.
Go ahead and ask.
Patrick, did you only date outside your race?
No, actually.
I ain't do something black.
Actually, I'm dealing with a black girl right now I've been with for a year and a half, and she's about to have my child in March. But what that goes to show is it don't have nothing to do with the person's color. It has to do with what a person can combine their life together with. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask that
One second, Lisa. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll meet two young women who are, Richard, I don't want to give you a heart attack, but they're biracial.
I'm cool.
All right. They say they are by no means a mistake, and they are definitely not unnatural, and anyone who thinks they are, well, I'll let them tell you. Don't go away. Back in a moment. We're back, and today's guests are people who feel that blacks are too accepting of interracial relationships. Richard has basically disowned his son, and he has no relationship with his grandson. Patrick, your son is here with you today. Richard, when's the last time you saw your grandson?
Oh, what, 3 years ago? He was 2 years old.
Patrick,
I talked to him on the phone.
Patrick, do I have your permission to show your father a picture of your son?
Oh, yeah, indeed. Go ahead.
Look like his dad.
No. We're not bringing him out for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
The first reason is I don't want him to hear this ugliness.
Exactly.
I don't want him to have a negative opinion of his grandfather, even if you have one of him. That's why he's not coming out. My question, though, to you, Richard, is when you look at your grandson, do you ever say to yourself, no matter how I feel about the choice that my son made, my grandson had nothing whatever to do with it, and I had to love him? You ever feel that way?
That problem there is the white side of his family. I cannot sit down and accept them people.
Cara, your ethnic background is what?
My mother's white and my biological father is black.
And when you hear someone call you unnatural, Cara, what's your reaction?
Well, look at me, I'm totally natural. That comment is, no offense, but it's founded in ignorance. Because there's no truth to that at all.
Not at all.
Charisse? Your ethnic background.
My mother is white and my father is black. Basically, when someone calls me unnatural, what is natural then? If you have an opinion on unnaturalism, what is natural? What is natural to you? What makes you so natural compared to me? What is the difference between you and me?
And Cara and Charisse, when you hear Alicia, for example, suggest that white women are, in effect, poaching and destroying the black race.
They can't stand for black women to have nothing. And furthermore, there's
all right, Alicia, please, Alicia, I want Charisse and Cara to respond, and then you get a chance.
There's not enough black men to go around. They're all in prison.
White women are predators.
Okay, that's also, I think it's based in fear, and they want to keep talking about history and slavery and all these things that happened. You know, everybody's been scared of the mixing of the races since we were brought here in 1619. And that's something that's obviously been carried through her generation, but she has no rationale for that. Like, I mean, there's no proof. You can't prove that a white woman is like, ooh, I'm going to go and kill the black race.
It doesn't even make sense to say a white woman would go and try to steal a black man.
I'll tell you one thing. A lot of black men got charred, feathered, hung, got the genitals cut off.
You're right.
Just for looking at a white woman.
You are right, but you're right. But you know what? A lot of black men died so that they could be considered equal.
Wait a minute.
They died
with a white woman. Are you trying to say?
Not so they could date white women, though. They died in combat to protect. They died in combat to protect.
All right, please. Please.
For a whole nother reason.
Alicia, Richard,
They have nothing to do with
Alicia, Richard.
Yes,
sir. At one time, it was illegal for people to marry outside their race.
Yeah.
You get prosecuted for it.
Get lynched down south.
So it seems to me that you're okay with those laws.
I'm okay with the laws?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was okay with it.
Okay. So Martin Luther King, full of it, right?
I don't know nothing about Martin Luther King, all right?
I
fought my own battle. I didn't have Martin Luther King. I grew up in Oklahoma. I went to get my hair cut in a white barbershop. Wow. They threatened to cut my head off. Like I said, this boy don't know nothing about me. I fought racism for 40 years, okay?
I tell you one thing.
And one thing about it, I don't date white women. Martin Luther King is not the example for every black person out there.
What's going on today? This is not the dream.
They always have Martin Luther King. This is exactly what they always bring. Martin Luther King is dead.
We can't all talk at the same time. We can't all talk at the same time, Richard.
Martin Luther King is dead.
The reason I mentioned Martin Luther King is because, as you know, he was looking for a day when people were evaluated based on content of character, not color of skin. But apparently, you don't feel he was right.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me talk to this brother here. Yes, I campaigned for United States Senator in Iowa. and then I campaigned for
Thank God
governor
you
of
didn't
Iowa.
win.
And I had stuff on the paper on
Do
my
you ever
plan
answer a
that would
question
help
directly?
white folks. I'm telling you.
Do you ever answer a question
I
directly?
had stuff that will help everybody.
Patrick, do you always
but the
like
white
this?
man's like this. If he gets so bad off, he got to get a black man to help him.
All right.
There's something wrong with
Sharice,
it.
you wanted to say something.
Because they think they're better.
Excuse me,
than white
Richard. Sharice.
Are you fighting to save racism? Because that's what it sounds like you're doing.
I'm
You're
not
saying you
fighting to
fought
save
so
racism.
You said you fought so hard so
You
that
don't have to fight to save racism, because racism
against
still
racism.
exists.
You
I know
say this
we're
is
looking at it.
every
I know
day
we're looking
because
at it,
people
Alicia.
like you.
You have to go on though.
You can't look past the color of your skin.
White people, you guys are in denial about racism.
No, you're in denial.
No, I'm not in denial. I'll tell you one thing. If you think that racism has ended, you go to a court of law. You go try to find your job. You go try to get you a house.
Hold on, let
in
her
certain
do it.
neighborhood, and you see that racism is alive and doing quite well.
All right, guys, hold on.
The neighborhood I live in.
Wait, Richard, Alicia, you're right. Racism exists.
That's right.
Martin
And we
Luther
are-
King,
hold
he'd
on.
be turned over in his grave. If he saw
Alicia, can I
what's
finish
going
the
on
thought,
today.
please? Alicia, nobody denies that racism exists. And we're looking at it right
Give
now.
black people
And we're looking at it right now.
reparations for the
Yes,
slave
we
trade,
are.
and then everything will be settled. Pay us for the slave trade.
No, come on.
Come on now.
Then what you're saying is...
Settle your debt, pay your debt to black people, not everybody else. You owe black people money for the slave trade. And that's what we should be talking about.
Okay, can I
I
say
think
something?
it's
Yeah, go
more
ahead.
so
Excuse me.
covert racism
Excuse
now.
me. We got to take a break. Don't go away. We will be right back. We are back, and the question today is this. Are blacks too accepting of those who date, marry, and start families with other races?
Hi, this is really sad to me. Okay, I consider myself a beautiful, black, intelligent woman. My boyfriend at this time is Caucasian. He's Greek and Irish. And, oh yeah, I know you probably hate me right now. But when I look for a partner, I look for someone who's going to treat me well, someone I'm attracted
well,
to,
too.
and the connection. I don't go by skin color.
That's your own problem.
It's never been a part of my process. It just hasn't. I look for deeper connection than just the color.
You can find
And I
a
will
deep
probably have
connection with
mixed
a brother.
kids, okay? So, and I plan on bringing them up in a culture where they accept and love everyone, and basically send them to other countries and educate them. You're ignorant. It's just education. You're ignorant. Sorry.
You're the one ignorant for lowering your standards to a white man.
I just have a question and kind of a comment. My question to you is, how do you live with...
You're talking to Richard?
Yes, Richard. How do you live with yourself?
Pretty popular,
denying yourself the privilege of the love and care of a child such as your nephew?
Grandson.
Great-grandson, your great-grandson. And I also have a comment. I am a biracial woman, and I know this is the bomb. Okay?
You couldn't give me time of day.
Richard, you want to respond? Richard, you want to respond?
She's a disgrace. Is that what you just
That's
said?
what I just said.
She's
Hell
a
yeah.
disgrace. No, you
That's what I
are.
said.
You are the disgrace.
You know what? Let me accept
Don't know what you're talking about.
Hi, my question is to Richard. Richard, Patrick said that he hadn't seen you until he was 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're mad at him because he married a white woman, right?
I'm not
So
mad at
as
him. I
a
said I
black,
was disappointed.
as Patrick's mother, should she have just like, you know, like discriminated against you for being a sorry father?
You heard me?
Yes. Because me as a black woman,
You can find it in every
because
way.
me as a black woman,
Not black.
I want a strong black man to stand by my side
You ain't
and
no
to help
strong
me.
black woman if
Oh,
you
yes,
saw
I
one.
am, my brother. I
Now,
can
let me
show you
answer
how
your
strong
question.
I am
Okay.
because I
You
love
do not know
everybody.
what happened
Okay,
between
and
me and
everybody.
his mother.
We have to take a break. We come back. We'll meet a man who says that AIDS, incarceration, and interracial marriages will make one day the black culture completely disappear for good. Don't go away. We will be right back. back, and our next guest, Johnny, is a machinist from Columbus, Mississippi, who says our black culture is virtually disappearing. How so?
Because if you look at the high rate of AIDS among black people in the world, not only here in America, but worldwide, in Africa as well, the high incarceration rates among black men, the high murder rates among black men, and as well as black women.
Now, there are a lot of problems, but I'm trying to figure out how interracial relationships is one of them.
Well, if black women can't get men, what's gonna happen to how's she gonna make black babies?
Why do you say black women can't get men? Most black people marry other black people.
Well, no, they don't.
Yes,
Larry.
they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Well, where you can go, where some places, where if you look at all the growing interracial marriages going on now,
it's growing. There's no question about it. But most people still marry within their own race.
It's not natural, Larry. It's not natural. Interracial couples are not natural.
So, Johnny,
I don't feel we were put on this planet to mix.
All right, so Johnny, when there were laws that prevented blacks and whites from mixing, those laws were perfectly legitimate and valid. As far as
I think they were okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I do believe they were okay.
So Jim Crow was okay?
Well, we may have had Jim Crow then, but we got Jim Crow Jr. today.
I'm stumped. Explain that to me.
Well, you can take a
Jim Crow Jr.
That's right. We got Jim Crow Jr. today. You can take a black man and a white man with the same qualifications in this country, send them around the country. The NAACP does this all the time, the Urban League also. And they take black men and white men with the same qualifications. 9 times out of 10, the black man is going to be discriminated against in jobs, housing, when it comes to apartments, getting apartments, best deals on the car ladder.
Johnny, I don't doubt for one moment that when you send a resume, black person and white person, equal qualifications, the black person is going to have a more difficult time. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. What does it have to do with your position opposing interracial relationships?
It is not natural. It's just not natural. We should not mix our blood with them. Because
do we look unnatural?
Well,
do we look unnatural?
I think you are.
So we do look unnatural. And the way you look is natural. This is natural.
Well, I'm black and Native American myself, so
okay,
I have no problem with people. I have no problem with people of color marrying people of color, like blacks and Asians or something like that. Blacks and Native Americans.
But just not black and white.
No blacks and whites.
Why is that?
Because our natures are different. We are different by nature.
Wait a minute. But you don't think so?
We are different by nature.
But
natures are different.
But Asians and blacks aren't different.
Our natures are
and blacks and Hispanics aren't different.
Nature.
No, they're not.
Wait a minute.
We are all spiritual people.
Now, wait a minute. That argument that you're making, that we are fundamentally different, I just want to remind you of history when so many white scientists tried to say that African Americans' brains are fundamentally different, and that's why they're stupid.
Well, they still do.
But wait, see, this is the point
That's
I'm trying to make.
nothing new. They still do. The bell curve said it.
Excuse me. The mindset that you are using is the same mindset that Caucasian Americans have used for centuries to try to oppress us.
You're not better. You're not better.
I see a difference. White people as a whole try to deny that this is a racist country today. And the reason why...
White people as a whole try to deny that this is a racist country today.
Covert racism.
Yeah, the reason why...
Alicia, is there a country that's not racist that you know of?
That's black people all around the world.
I mean, I don't really know what's happening in every country.
Well, I mentioned it, I mentioned Alicia because...
I know what happens in Seattle, Washington. I know that black people up in Seattle, Washington are discriminated against. You guys got to go to these cities and see what discrimination is really all about.
You know what,
then you understand. I'm not talking about any one individual. I'm talking about the racism that black people have suffered from ever since the slave trade.
Alicia, wait a second. Alicia, please.
Don't make a right.
Alicia, you made the point several times.
Okay, Larry.
This is the fairest, freest, most open, most tolerant country in all of human history.
No, Larry.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Have you read the book of Rage of a Privileged Class?
I disagree.
Have you read the book of Rage of a Privileged Class?
And I will tell you when you get done.
Read the book of Rage of a Privileged Class, how the black middle class...
You mean the book by Ellis Coast?
Yeah, the black middle class and the upper middle class, even though they are successful, they are still angry because they still face racism. No, it's not. There's a lot of truth in that book, Larry.
We can make racism disappear, but we can better our community by not condoning.
No, you ain't black. You ain't black.
Okay, wait, I have a question. My heritage is black. My father is black. Okay. I am black.
You ain't black.
But I am neither. But I won't choose one of the other. Okay, I have a question.
Black.
Tell me then, in your opinion, what is black? What is black? Is it
dark
skin? Because you're Native American and black, and you ain't black either.
I think black people are people with kinky hair, dark to medium brown skin, full lips, those who are direct from Africa.
Okay.
And you ain't black.
You know what? You ain't from Africa either, brother. You are from
you ain't really black. See, I have no problem with people. Like I said, I have no problem with people of color marrying people of color. My problem is with white people.
Okay, but see, you're the one saying that the culture is dying, right?
The race will die out. Like they did in Puerto Rico.
But you're willing to mix with other minority cultures.
Brazil and Puerto Rico.
Do you think,
they will disappear.
Johnny, do you think biracial people suffer?
I do not believe we were put on this planet to mix, Larry.
Do you think biracial people suffer?
Yes,
black,
they do.
Suffer in what way? Explain how Sharice and Kara are suffering.
Well, there was a survey done by the U.S. Census community where they found that most biracial children, like these people here, they take sides with the white community because we live in a society that says everything white is good, black is bad.
I don't.
No, I didn't say you may be individuals, but most of them do. They do take sides with white people.
So they're individuals.
They do take sides with most white people. They do side with white people. Tiger Woods.
And by the way,
but we're not.
Hold on. Johnny, what does it mean when you say they side with white people? What does that mean?
They do take sides with white people.
What does that mean?
They don't know what side to go. Most biracial children do go to side with white people.
What about
what does survey has shown it, Larry.
What does that mean when you say go?
Surveys don't lie, Larry.
The surveys
don't. I don't know what you mean by survey. I'm asking you. What do you mean to take sides with white people? What does that mean?
They do take sides with white people.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
They do side with white people. They want to be white.
Let me correct you right there. We don't want to be either or. We are white and black, and we accept that.
Not in America. You ain't white and black.
We accept
You're not in America. You're not white and black.
All right, guys. Quick break.
Only be one.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We are back. Today's guests are people who feel that blacks are too accepting of interracial relationships.
There's a new kind of racism. And internationally. Now there's Iraqis that are killing Americans and that hate Americans. How do you feel about that?
Well, and they're killing black Americans, they're killing white Americans, they're killing Asian Americans, they don't care.
Okay, it's a war going on. Wait a minute! It's a war going on between the United States and Iraq. The Iraqis can get justice.
Hold on, Richard, before you continue, it's the last time you're going to yell at people on my show. That's it. Last time. Now, briefly finish your point, please.
Okay, she asked me a question about Iraqis, right? Iraqis getting better justice from the American people than I am. I'm an American citizen. I cannot get justice through the court system. And I don't think that's fair to me.
And I don't think you answered her question either.
Well, I answered what she asked.
One question. He can't answer.
No, he can't.
Not one.
I really don't think you guys have a comprehension of what black culture is, because you guys should learn how to live with everybody. My husband, he's black. I'm Mexican, Filipino, and I will not teach my kids about separatism. I will not teach separatism. That's not what Dr. King was about, nor Malcolm X.
Let me tell you something. And Martin Luther King, this is Dr. King, he was talking about either. But we see here today. As a matter of fact,
one at a time. Alicia, go ahead.
Things are more racist now than what they were, 20-something years ago.
Unbelievable. They're more racist now than they were 20 years ago?
Exactly. It's that hidden type of racism.
Yeah, covert racism.
Institutionalized type of racism.
Covert racism.
And furthermore, when black men marry white women, they better be aware of the white woman's nature, because the majority of white women do have a dark side.
All right, Alicia, thank you. Things are worse now than they used to be.
White women are
Alicia, you clearly have been in a cave for the last 50 years. We're going to take a break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You know, whenever I oversee a discussion like the one we had here today, I'm reminded at once of how far we've come as a country on matters of race, and I'm reminded on how far we have yet to go. When you get a little older and you start to think about how hard it is in life just to find someone you love, to find someone with whom you have mutual respect, just getting through life in a way that is productive, that's gratifying. to grow up with solid moral values, to raise a beautiful family. I mean, you could argue that attaining these things in life with anyone, someone in your own race or someone of a different race, with anyone, is a profound achievement. I'll have to leave it. Thank you. And I will leave that thought with you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Larry Elder Show, and we'll see you next time.